In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. Your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. With Solana ID, you were in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID, your reputation grows. Let's do it once more. With Solana ID, in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID, if your reputation grow. In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. Your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. With Solana ID, you were in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID, your reputation grows. Let's do it once more. With Solana ID, you were in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. Reputation grow. In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. Your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. With Solana ID, you were in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID, your reputation grows. Let's do it once more. With Solana ID, you were in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID, if your reputation grow. In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. Your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. With Solana ID, you were in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID, your reputation grows. Let's do it once more. With Solana ID, you were in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID, if your reputation reputation grow.
GM and welcome to Solar Talk number 91. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and happy Saturday, even though it doesn't look as happy as before on the charts. I think last week we talked a little bit about how institutions are rotating into Sol and how inflows into ETFs are looking good. Well, sorry, not sorry. It looked good on the outside, but the price is not reflecting what we've seen on the ETF front. I guess smart money might be buying in at these prices, but they're also really driving prices down right now. And it seems like a train that is just unstoppable. So I think we do have to take a look at the charts today. Of course, try to calm everyone down a little bit and see what's going on Solana or the wider crypto market. But also, we're going to talk a little bit about some macro news, especially because last week was fairly heavy macro week. We had job data came in as well, made payrolls. And then we also are observing again a few ETF flows that are fairly negative. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. And more forced selling really that is going on currently in the crypto market. We touched on pump fund offloading Sol last week already, but now they're not the only ones anymore. There's more heavy weights cutting their Sol positions. But we also have some responses from the Solana community and also from Anatoly himself how to tackle price development in the future. SIMD 0550 has been discussed on the timeline. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. I want to see if everyone is already aware what it is. If not, then I want to bring it to you guys' attention, because if this comes to be true at some point, it is a Solana improvement document right now that is in proposal stage, so far from being confirmed, but early enough or far enough to talk about it. And besides that, obviously, we have some Solana ID stuff to talk about as well. So we're going to touch on some updates regarding our latest campaign results. And I think Pierre is able to help us understand a little bit more of the analytics already now, 1 week into the campaign, a little bit more than 1 week into the campaign. Speaking of, welcome, Pierre, to the show. How are you doing?
GM, I'm doing good. I had a really nice day today, actually.
Awesome. Nice. Right. Tell us about it.
Do you want to hear about it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Everyone who's already seen some right in the middle of Metro Manila in BGC, which is not really, there's not so much appreciated the past few weeks. So I nice close by where I can hang out for a day and don't have the typical city life, you know what I mean? So I found, I don't know why I didn't find it earlier, but I found it on Instagram actually. I was scrolling, probably I was sitting on a toilet or whatever, and scrolling on Instagram, and I saw this reel, and it looked really nice. And I saw it was in the Philippines, like a park with some greenery and a lake and whatever. And then I searched it up on Google Maps, and it was actually not too far away from here. I mean, I think it's probably 10 kilometers or something, or maybe even less, maybe a little bit more. So in Germany, it would probably take you 15 minutes to go there. But since the traffic here is completely shit, it took us almost an hour to go 15 kilometers or whatever. But it's normal. So the place is called Intramuros, and it's in the Bay Area of Manila. It's one of the very old parts. And what is really nice about it is that you basically have ruins and still some old architecture from when the Spanish people were colonizing the Philippines, which was for more than 300 years. And I'm actually not sure when they got independent from them, but it's nice because the Spanish people, they built a lot of military bases and also just, some houses and places where they would hang out. And so there's this Fort Santiago, which is basically directly at the bay. Obviously, fort means there is so it's a military point back then for the Navy, to protect the shores of Manila. And yeah, it's nice because if you go there, you don't feel you're in the Philippines. It looks like Europe, old European architecture from around that time. So it's really nice, and there's lots of green, and there's and everything is free. Like even the museum, we went to a museum. The museum is for free. You can go to the park and everything. I think, okay, the park was like 75 pesos, but what is that? €1, a little bit more than €1 to go into this park. And so we spent
That's
the
okay.
whole day, walked a lot of steps, took nice pictures, and then was also, so one of the places is called Rizal Park. And I'm not super familiar who this Rizal guy is. Elia told me a little bit about him. So he's like a war hero who was fighting for the independence of the Filipinos back then. And that's why there's a monument for him, and there's a whole park and everything. And the Filipinos, they're celebrating the Philippine Independence Day in 6 days, so almost a week. And there was some sort of event going on in this Rizal Park, so that basically all the different areas and parts of the military, the Navy, the Marine, they're showing firefighters also there. So all these yeah, from the military or just or all of these agencies. I don't know. I cannot find the word. Anyways, it was nice because you could see what tools they're using, their equipment. So did you see my Instagram story, or did you not see my Instagram story yet? Yeah, you need to check it out. So I was making some pictures with an M4, a real M4. And they also have some other nice stuff like sniper rifles and other shit. It was really cool.
Did you manage to to shoot?
Nah, there was no.
It's not allowed. Yeah.
They were not
No
they were not loaded. So there was no
Loaded,
how do you call
okay.
this? Ammunition, yes.
Ammunition. Yeah.
But they were really
Okay.
open. I liked it. So you just went there. They had different booths, and then there was every booth there was some guys who were like, oh, come here, take this gun. So you have to imagine you walk there in this park, and there's like different booths, and you just check the booth out, and then there's different military guys holding M4s and sniper rifles in their hand and give it to you, like here, take, check it out.
The normalest thing in the world, I guess.
Yeah, that was really cool. What about you? What did you do?
I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi, by the way. This time it could be my Wi-Fi, but you were breaking up a few times when you were talking. If I'm breaking up when I talk, then it's my Wi-Fi probably. So guys, let us know in the comments, please. Because if it's me, then I need to check if I
think for me it's fine. If I freeze for you, but you don't freeze for me, and so I guess you also don't freeze for anyone else.
Okay, I hope so. Yeah, let us know in the comments, guys. I see you there. So GM everyone, Alden in the house. GM Alden, good to have you here. Happy Saturday, says JD. JD, thanks for checking out this solid talk as always, my friend. Listen to you as well. And PR964 is here. We got Hector in the house. G solid, my friend. Giannis, GM holders of the gates, crypto leading the charge. We locked in. What the fuck are you talking? Is that AI slop? It sounds like AI slop. What are you trying to say, Giannis? Yes, we're holding the gates. I think I know you're referring to the charts. Darius, GM brother. Hope you're doing well. What are we training today, my friend? For Leon, GM brother, and Mesh is here as well. Yeah, thanks for kicking it off with some adventure time. It sounds very sounds like you got a grasp on some history finally of the place you're in there. Actually, I think Manila probably has very interesting backstory from centuries of colonization and so many different influences. That brought different kinds of people to shore.
There's also in the museum that we went, you could see lots of different kinds of animals that are in different areas of the Philippines. And it's nice because they use the actual animals, but when they are dead, they don't kill them. They just collect them when they're dead, and then they prepare them in some specific way so that they can actually showcase them in the museum. So you see the actual dead animal there. And it's in a nice scenery. And not sure if you probably don't know that, because it's like a random fact. And why would anyone know about this without any reason? Is there is actually the biggest and longest ever recorded crocodile in the history of crocodiles. Was found in the Philippines, and the name is Lolong. I think Lolong. Need to check it out. And this thing, I saw it on some pictures before. It is huge. It's more than 6 meters long.
No way.
And weighs more than 1,000 kilograms.
That's
and it was
insane.
there for the dead animal, the dead crocodile, prepared in some way, was right there in the museum.
What was
it? Looks like a
fucking
dinosaur. I swear, it looks like a fucking dinosaur thing.
I mean, I think they're the closest we have.
Live, and you're in front of this thing, we would cry, you would scream, you would shit your pants.
I don't think these are still around. These type of gigantic crocodiles. I mean, crocodiles are the closest we still have on this earth to dinos.
It was just recently, 10 years ago, when they.
Really? Oh, I didn't get that. Yeah. Okay. Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah. Nice. All right, guys. So be careful if you're planning a trip to the jungle of the Philippines. Darius says training back today. You got it, my brother. Keep pushing. Do some heavy barbell rolls, my friend. PS Wi-Fi is the one running, I believe. Yeah, I think your Wi-Fi doesn't like StreamYard uploads at all. You're stable on all calls all the time, but StreamYard sometimes is bringing it to its knees. Anyway, guys, Jim, thanks for joining. I see a few more people jumping in. Maybe to kick it off, let's take a look at the charts before we talk about some news and some Solana ID items. So let me pull up my screen. And let's just, take a quick glance at this path here. So, yeah. Where do we even start? I definitely have to clean up this Solana chart here, because lots of these intra-wave counts here are long overdue. I'll do that in peace, though. Anyway, right now, we had this strong pullback that we've been in the whole year, basically, right? Since year start here, this was end of 2025. Then the year opened with a small recovery attempt here in January, and then basically into February, we saw the big flush. So that beginning of Feb, if you guys recall, there was the first painful trend here, which I consider wave 3. So there's a 1, 2, 3. Now, since beginning of Feb, we've been grinding sideways with nothing really, like no action. It was like a really tight range, $97 top. That's the red line up here. Then you have like $75, $77 down. That's pretty much the trend, the channel we've been trading in as well. You could draw this as a channel as well, with the low in February. And then it's kind of an opening channel. And then we broke through that channel just recently at the end of May. So here, I think this was quite a crucial moment, because we didn't bounce back into the upside again. If you rewatch, I mean, you probably won't do that, but if you would rewatch some Solid Talks from 4 weeks ago, there were bullish counts on my chart that were indicating upside reversal trends, right? Because I was still considering to see a larger recovery here in this B wave to the upside. So I was watching this area up here, $119-ish, for this recovery before we do this, what we're doing right now. What ended up happening is that this was C, this was the top of B. It was a very weak upside attempt here. And yeah, now we're in the C wave to the downside here. And that definitely happened now. The trend has been broken to the downside. There's no way around it. So we're in this C wave to here, which is also the very large wave. That is definitely not completed yet. So Right now, scalp trading, sure, like we're highly oversold. I'm on the 4-hour chart right now. The RSI is printing 15, 16. The last time we saw these numbers was definitely exactly here in the February flush. We saw some recovery there as well, and then choppy chop. So definitely highly oversold. Sure, you can try your scalps, right, where you just enter a trade and try to get out as soon as you're in profit again with tight stop loss. But it is a falling knife, right? You're trying to catching a falling knife right now, and this works 8 out of 10 times. It doesn't work. If it works, it can be quite juicy because if you catch then the bottom here and it reverses to the upside, that is a good trade. But I'd be extremely careful right now because this larger third wave here to the downside is not even done yet. So we can definitely see further extension to the downside here. And if you have subwaves, so this is we can print subwaves in the chart here, which would be a 1, 2, 3, and now we're in the weekend recovery. Then we would top in the 5th wave to the downside here. So that's basically what we're doing right now. Right? So in this 4th wave, I think we kind of found support down here, and in this resistance zone, in the blue zone here, I think we might try to go sideways a little bit. There might be a bit of an upside attempt, but chances are quite high that we're still going to pull lower into this red box down here, which is between $57 and $51, which would then be the conclusion of the 3rd wave. Then there's still another wave 4 recovery to the upside to look for, and still another wave 5 to the downside to complete the whole wave C, larger wave 5. So lots going on right now here on the charts. I hope this gives a bit of clarity to kind of, estimate of where are we currently in this whole downside movement before to see a reversal again. Bitcoin did just cross the, or attempting to cross moving averages here as well. I think this is the 300-week moving average. And we're just tapping on it basically. The 250-day moving average is like a very substantial one. You can look that back as well on the charts, and it probably, I think we crossed the 251 already right now. That's my check. So you can see that these moving averages here usually are trying to find the bottom, but it's not a guarantee, right? We can always break lower or down. But yeah, I think what we should probably look for here in the Bitcoin chart is a bit more of a downside extension. Same with Solana, we're not done yet fully. I think we can break through the 300. We can probably break through the 30 RSI on the weekly one more time, so that we see one more of these vertical lines here that you see on my chart. Every time we break through the 30 RSI, there's a recovery to the upside, at least temporarily. But I think this time it could be hopefully it, right? But with all that being said, there is still a lot of room to the downside. We could definitely correct into the 40K-ish Bitcoin numbers here. But I don't think that in 2-3 weeks from now, we're still in this situation. I think the market is going to recover at some point. So that's the current reading. It is definitely quite bloody. I saw Fabiano.sol posting a chart of the heat map of crypto, and everything was red across the board, which is not very surprising these days. And yeah, there's a few reasons to this why we see this happening. Attempting to understand why, I think we could take a look here at a little bit of what's going on here on the ETF side of things. $4.4 billion over 13 sessions. Only Hype is in the green. Interesting. So BlackRock's IBIT, Bitcoin ETF, 340 million on Wednesday, just normal Wednesday. ETH, Solana, and XRP funds joined the redemption wave. Only Hype products saw, the only ones that are still pulling in money. So yeah, 13 straight days of outflows across the Bitcoin ETFs. $4 billion is definitely a number. We dropped from 105 billion almost to 82 billion in BTC. It's rotating out. And yeah, so that's, risk on. It is a risk on asset. So people are definitely currently trying to get into more liquid and more stable assets. We can also see that in the USDT dominance. I think the Tether market cap overtook Ethereum market cap for either a moment, or it still is. But I did overtook it for a moment. I saw that. What does that mean? Well, the market cap of a stable coin is bigger than the largest smart contract token that we have on crypto, which is still Ethereum. And that didn't happen before, I think, for a long time. So that definitely signals as well that there's not a lot of risk appetite right now in the market. Solana funds lost 12.7 million on Wednesday as well. BSOL from Bitwise leads the push out. So yeah, I think again, it's if the markets bleed, the people are like lemmings, right? Everyone's just jumping out to save themselves, while others see the opportunity and slowly pile on. So I think strategic investors and smart money is currently, I'm fairly sure of that, and they're enjoying the low prices. On the bright side of things, though, I don't know if you saw that, Pierre, but hype has exceeded $200 million in 24 volume on Solana, significantly higher than volume on major centralized exchanges. So basically what happened is that the hype token itself was traded on Solana more than on every other outlet that we have currently, including Hype Liquid themselves and centralized exchanges. So that at least it happened in one 24-hour window. I saw Vibu post about this as well on the timeline, and that is, I guess, that's bullish for spot trading on Solana. Even perhaps, I guess, we have a lot of hype we see on Solana, but all in all, as always on Solana, fundamentals looking okay. The trends that we have, which is spot trading, perps, collectibles, RWAs, like this is all looking fairly good right now. Just the price is not catching up, because the price is just, there's too much other stuff that impacts the price. You can't get, if fundamentals would keep crypto tokens up, then the market would look very different, because a lot of the apps are doing quite well, but their tokens are suffering. Jupiter wouldn't be where they are right now in terms of their token market cap if fundamentals play. It's just not.
Why do you think, what's the explanation for this? As you just said, fundamentals are looking great for Solana. We are shipping stuff every day. There's literally no day where you're not on the timeline, not seeing anything major launching. It's either a protocol on Solana, or it's Solana themselves, or there's any new trading records. Best example with this Hyperliquid spot trading volume. All of these things are super bullish. So put this into perspective of a traditional company that is listed on the stock market and basically prints money all the time. Every report they do is, okay, we grew again, we did so much more money, blah blah. Everyone would buy that stock, right? Everyone would like to invest and get a piece of this. And I guess that overall, these major announcements, this healthy environment in this company would lead that they get a better valuation. Why is it that we have all these crazy announcements, we do all of this crazy stuff, but instead of going up, we're just going more down?
There's probably dozens of influences to begin my answer with, right? So I can double tap on some variables that I think are impacting price. But besides these variables that I can see and imagine and talk about right now, there's many other ones that impact prices. How are prices even being discovered, right? In markets, in traditional markets, in stock markets, in crypto markets alike, everywhere, right? It's never raw company data and fundamentals, right? It's not Warren Buffett, Ben Graham style investment where you just look at the numbers and pick a valuation and that's what you pay for it. That's not how markets work. Right? Markets are driven by traders' psychology, by liquidity, by demand and supply and demand on asset. That's why we have PE ratios, price to earnings, for example, because you're not paying the price for a company that is directly correlated with the earnings, the amount of revenue the company makes. That's not how markets work. The PE ratios of tech companies are insanely high, right? Tesla and SpaceX and Anthropic and all these guys that are doing IPOs right now, they have insane PE ratios. And where does that come from? Because we're pricing in the future expectations of the thing, right? And if you price in future expectations, there's just no mathematical formula really that determines the price. Nope. It's purely sentiment, whatever that means. Right? I can't do more than use that word, but sentiment is what determines the future price of something. So if sentiment in Solana is extremely bullish and everyone thinks that, this ecosystem is going to be extremely successful and all that value is going to find its way back to Solana, yes, it's Sol. Well, then we should probably allocate a very high, PE ratio and drive the price up. And the thing is more worth, right? If that belief is. Now that's one variable, sentiment, right? I think that belief existed much stronger before than right now. It still exists, but in too small of a group of people, because the attention on crypto just was sucked out of the whole world by AI taking over. There's not too much going on, right? So sentiment is good, but not across a big amount of people anymore. We need more people to be bullish, right? With all these institutions being interested in Solana and so on right now, that's the bull case. I think that is still happening right now. There are people that are quietly accumulating right now. They see the vision. But that brings me to my last variable that I can touch on, which is what even is Sol? Because it is not an NVIDIA stock. There you have clarity. Okay, that's the company. If I own the stock, I own a part of the pie. I own a part of the company. But Sol is not a stakeholder token from Kraft, right? Sol is not an equity like piece of your company. You cannot redeem Sol for a part of a company. There is no company to begin with. There is no Solana corporation, right? Foundation has nothing to do with the price of Sol. They're a foundation. They're non-profit by default, right? So if you buy Sol, you're not buying a part of Solana Foundation. So what is Sol even? Sol is the lifeblood of the chain. It is the currency that you pay gas fees in, and it appreciates in price if the chain makes more money. That brings us to all these computations that you can make. Okay, what's the future expectation of revenue on Solana? What does that mean for Solana, the asset? And that brings us to SIMD0550, because that's another piece of the puzzle of how the Solana price is being calculated. Because this new SIMD proposal pair makes new Sol stop being created fast. So that means less future supply, because it's a disinflation proposal, basically. It lowers the inflation rate of Solana. And that would be good for holders, essentially, because less future supply, and the same or more demand, that would be better. So in this case, Solana currently always mints brand new Sol every year, and it hands it to validators and stakers as a reward. That's inflation. We have a stable inflation rate on Solana. It's baked into the protocol. That is new supply, net new supply. That dilutes the existing supply. So we're not having Solid, we're not having 1 billion tokens, that's it. No, we actually have constantly new generation of Solana tokens according to a fixed curve. That is the inflation rate that we have on Solana. So it's like a company printing new shares and giving out new shares. That means dilution happens and everyone's existing shares get diluted down a little bit. Currently, I think every year, Solana started, I'm reading right now, Solana started at 8% new Sol per year. That was the inflation rate. And that rate shrinks down each year to a bottom of 1.5%. It's going to be the floor. 1.5% is going to be the floor inflation rate. So the proposal changes the speed of getting to 1.5%. Okay. And now we're not there yet. I think we're at 4. Don't take it for granted. I think we're at 4 or 5, something like this percent inflation rate right now. Started at 8, when we started Solana, and going down slowly to 1.5. The proposal brings us faster to 1.5%. Basically, it increases the rate of getting from 8% to 1.5%, double. So we're going to get there double speed. So that brings us to 1.5% floor in 2.8 years instead of 5. And it would cut $1.5 billion at current valuation, at today's price, of future SOL. Cuts it out, $1.5 billion. So less supply hitting the market in the future, less sell pressure over time, good for price. Now, right now, why do we dump so much right now? Sure, sentiment is good. Sure, fundamentals are good. But just looking at the facts, why are we dumping? Because people are selling, period, right? That's it. Who's selling? Pump Fund. Sorry, I'm pointing fingers. But I just know that Pump Fund is selling because you can see it on chain. Treasury companies, Forward Industries, also had to liquidate some SOL, I think. So all these Solana asset treasuries that raised last year at $200 Solana price or more, I think they're getting just squeezed in a corner right now, and they have to unload a little bit to just stay alive, I guess. I don't know what they're doing exactly, but they're all selling. And I think there's also a token unlock. Actually, I saw that when I did my research. There's a Solana token unlock coming in as well, which is, that is definitely also 624,000 SOL unlocks in June 7, which will drop fresh supply into an already weak market. That might be a reason, by the way, why we're also dropping right now. Because people who know that there's 630,000 SOL, let's say right now, I don't know, $70 in the bull case, it's $44 million of sell that tomorrow hits the markets, right? Technically, if these people decide to sell, we don't know that. So that is all supply that hits markets that's being sold. ST91 basically attacks that all these problems by saying, hey, we're just going to turn down a little bit the supply tab. That's money printing, basically. The asset SOL gets a little bit harder, right? Fewer tokens in future mean more scarcity. So yeah, if that proposal goes through, this might be good for Solana. Just a little caveat here: validators and stakers, they earn income from inflation, right? So if you're having a validator, there's inflation rewards. It's part of your revenue. If you cut the inflation faster, validators earn less. Who votes on SIMD proposals? Validators. So just that's the caveat here, right? We had a similar proposal, SIMD 0228, in 2025. I remember talking about it as well, and it was rejected. It only got not even 40% support from the validators. So back then it was similar. It was also about inflation rate. Anatoly was also for it, like right now. But the validators decided to reject it. Now, if we have a lot of validators right now that are being created by treasury companies or people that just have a lot of SOL naturally that are interested in SOL go up, maybe their motivation of driving the price of SOL up is higher than keeping their validator rewards. You know what I mean? So that might make them vote for this. So maybe this time we could see this in the proposal actually going through, which would be good for price. But right now selling pressure is very high. Sentiment is kind of so, and we don't have enough awareness, attention on the crypto sector. Do you still believe Solana is going to be $500 at some point? How strong is that belief still after 1 year of bleeding market for someone like you? Yeah.
I guess it's a matter of time.
Yeah, good answer.
I don't believe that all crypto is, especially Bitcoin, is going to zero, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. So the only other option is that it goes far higher than what we have seen. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe not in the next 5 years, maybe not in the next 10 years, but maybe in the next 20 years. I don't know.
usually this happens according to the cycles, right? But we're still following these damn 4-year cycles that we thought we broke end of last year, but we haven't broke them. I mean, like it's just the same shit, the same playbook. Just this bull run right now was very weak. It didn't top on hype. We didn't top on hype. We didn't top in a market where everyone was like, "Ooh, so much money everywhere." No, we topped on. Everyone was chilling. Prices were at 120K Bitcoin and $300 Solana, but everyone was kind of chilling. Why? Because there wasn't this big influx of new people left and right. Everyone talking about crypto. It just happened kind of quietly. The top, it's a maturing market, but it was still 4-year cycle. Top happened end of last year, the year before midterms. Now this year's US midterm election. First half of that year
No, it
is
was
historically
beginning of
weak.
last year in January or February.
Up the top.
Yeah, we were in Bali. It was this event hosted by Ivan and Taras from Venture Launch.
Okay,
the
yeah,
one
that
that we
was
also
the
kind of sponsored a little bit.
Yeah.
That was when we had a live stream. It was either January or February, and Solana hit 300.
300.
Then shortly after that, Trump launched his meme coin that went
Then we went to
to
90. From 200.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then
60
also went down again 90%
Yeah.
within 2 days. That was last year. And then after that, there was
another push.
not so many happy moments. Let's call it this way.
There was one more attempt, which I have in my mind. It was September 25, $250. But it was even worse than the $300 in terms of the sentiment. The 300 were already kind of even though it was a new all-time high. But then the $250 were already like very skeptical. It wasn't a great push, and from there it just went downward. But again, it's like I think it's very very natural. Look on it that way, and even looking at the Bitcoin chart here, pull it up one more last time. But I mean, you see it even how the cycles are becoming, how the curve is flattening. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure what you're showing, but I only see the StreamYard back end.
Sorry, I didn't share my screen. So yeah, like basically you have, what is this? 2000, now we're 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. There was a top. There was a top. This was the last 4-year top that we saw. Then it was kind of bear market, then it was slow recovery, and then this was our bull market here, right? This push here to the upside. It was kind of like this was a bull market. And this was like, yeah, we're getting there. So we made a new high, and now we're down again. But I just want to emphasize the fact that these highs that we printed here, they brought us down 70%, right, into a bear market. These highs that we printed 4 years before that, this is 2018, 17, 18. Again, 4-year cycle, top, and brought us down to 80%. So just saying, like right now we topped at 120K, 25 or 22. And yeah, like we're down, are we right now? We're down 50%. So I'm just saying that before in the bear markets to the top, we landed closer to this red line here and here. So it's more like this range. So there's a lot of room still to the downside, but there's also a lot of room to the upside. If you think about it, like this chart is far from done, right? It can go, it can work its way much higher. And this is a logarithmic chart, right? So it looks less severe. But even if we pump one more time like this, right? Here we're already at 500K Bitcoin. So I mean, it's like the once the bull is back and one liquidity returns to this market, to the winners basically, which is going to be Bitcoin, Solana, and a few of these new kind of tokens, which are like security-like assets of successful companies. It's going to be wild. Oh yes, I think we're going to see that these price levels again. Anyway, thanks for posting the stream 1000 use based on that conversation about Solid price. Any updates on the plan with the Solid token? How do we see value being returned to holders? That only works if we pull through with our plan of restructuring the token into a new vehicle, right? Because we are not a layer 1 blockchain. We are not having gas fees. We are not a meme coin. We don't have a utility token. No one really has that, by the way, in the whole crypto. Anyone? Is there any utility tokens like where you actually need the token to do something? I don't know. I think so. But like at least not a successful case of it.
I mean, everyone is trying to.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. Everyone is trying to get big and muscular as well, but most are not. So it's not about trying. It's about like, are there any success stories? And I think utility tokens, doesn't really work. So why do I say this? Because if there's a path that is worth exploring, then it is to build a successful company and have a token that represents shares in that company. And that's my answer to your question, Mesh. Solid needs to be restructured into a equity-like token via platforms like CraftStaff or MetaDAO or Startup Fund or Bedrock for Meteora. So this is going to happen. This is going to happen if we, bring this company to a next level. It needs to happen together with a new structured token. What does that mean for the second part of your question? How do you see value being returned to holders? If we migrate the token into a new ownership coin, this means that all token holders are going to be able to redeem their old Solid for the new token. That new token will have a new wave of attention and promise and future value potential, which will definitely be higher in terms of market cap than what we have right now. So what's happening right now really is we're just washing out the people that want out, because the less people we are going to have holding Solid right now, the more new tokens are going to be allocated to the people that are still holding, if that makes sense. You understand? So if the new token, I'm going to say a random number, if the new token has 10% allocation reserved for old token holders, then that 10% being allocated to 2,000 token holders of Solid is going to be better for each token holder than if it's going to be allocated to 5,000 token holders. So if people are leaving the boat right now and are selling their Solid and are getting out, that's going to be good for the people that are still holding and believing in the next iteration of Solidity. What I just said is pretty much pure alpha, because I don't think you can't read it anywhere. Our plans here in the Solid Talk, we're talking about our considerations and plans for the future. Nothing is finalized and set in stone, which also means that a lot of things we say here are because you can't see them on Twitter or anywhere else. So those are the plans. And that also brings us to one thing I wanted to talk about, Pierre, real quick before we then can move on to some ID campaign updates and maybe why everything in crypto is an ad. It's the last part of this call. But ReFi Hub on Crafts did not meet the minimum. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw that. 60% only, 250K.
Yep. What do you think about that? What happened here?
First of all, I have to be very honest. I did not make the effort to properly understand what ReFi Hub does.
Right.
I quickly scanned the page, but it was not enough for me to actually understand what ReFi Hub is doing. So I cannot really tell if ReFi Hub being ReFi Hub is one of the parts, What do you think? Can you explain what they do? Do you understand it?
No, I couldn't do it in a perfect pitch. I would have to look at that page here as well. Let's see how good of a job they did explaining it here. they turn physical operating solar assets into USDC paying yield products. It's an RWA protocol where you basically can buy shares of physical operating solar facilities. And then you can earn a yield that is being paid out from the revenues that are being made by these solar fields. As those assets sell electricity, revenue is distributed back to USDC and investors receive their share from real asset cash flow. It's an interesting idea. It's an interesting concept. Smaller solar projects are difficult for everyday investors to access and too fragmented for traditional institutions. True. Refi Hub makes those assets easier to diligence, fund, monitor, and receive distribution. They want to release Vault. It's designed to pool yield from multiple operating solar assets into one diversified token, turning individual illiquid solar projects into a cleaner on-chain yield product. Pooled product, one diversified token backed by yield from multiple solar. Okay. Cool. Yeah, they already have 491K assets under management across these facilities, 14% APY. Seems like an interesting idea. The valuation is fair, 4 million to 8 million for such a operation, right? You can find the full data room as well, I think, where linked here. So they have like a full data room where you can look into the financials. But didn't reach the target. So only 184 participants committed. Well, yeah, I think it's difficult because there's who invests, right, in these launches? Most people probably are actually not intending to hold the assets for a long time. Assumption, assuming. Like MetaDAO pulls in a lot of money, but there's also a lot of volume happening right after the token launch, where people are trying to, hey, I participated in the ICO yesterday. In 2 days, I want to make some money. You know what I mean? So they're trying to get in, get out, rotate in and out. Then there's going to be a little bit of trading happening in the first days after the launch. But yeah, I mean, we can. The most, I think one of the best products that launched on Meta was probably Umbra, right? Shout out to Crew and the team. This one was a fairly good launch back last year when it happened. The weekly chart, maybe let's use the daily chart. But yeah, definitely also every top 100 holders average exit here. So, pumped a lot right after the launch. Then I guess a lot of people just taking their profits, a lot of people just, getting out. Those are the people that bought on the ICO, they just wanted to flip. Then there's traders coming in, that I want to trade the token, that want to make some money. A big push to the upside again. I don't know if they did something internally as well to facilitate this push, or if it was really just the FOMO from, hey, there was a successful launch. Traded quite well. Then obviously also bled a little bit to the downside. Still a fairly good FTV. Not a bad state to be in this market right now, honestly. So still a shout out to the team here. But yeah, I think honestly, it's tough to pitch this, I think, right now. And get people into it if you are not doing a superb campaign around it. So I think that is probably the thing you need. You need a really good campaign on socials that is just making everyone aware that this is happening, big opportunity. Everyone wants in, make people jump into the sale. That's how you can close it. That's how you make a big push. That's how you drive volumes up. I think MetaDAO did that quite well in the past. And then every single time they do another one of these successful ones, helps the next one as well. So it definitely, now that the first one did not close, puts more pressure on the next teams that were launched through Crafts. I still think there's definitely a chance to do it much better than Refi Hub and succeed and fill around. But you won't have the supporting, kind of push from the first launch that this would have given the next project. Like if Refi Hub would have closed in 5 hours, I think the crafts team would agree that this would have been bullish for the future launches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't think. I saw the post, the announcement from Kraft when they said, "Sorry guys, the Refi Hub ICO only. I mean, the ICO never happened, but
Yeah.
the raise only filled up to 60%, so they will just let people claim their refunds." And then
Yeah.
I saw most of the comments were pretty, how to say, nice towards the team and everyone. So it was still very positive. People were just saying, "Hey, great team. It was just not the right timing, not the right market condition and whatever."
I mean, that's true.
Sure. But we also launched a token, and I can remember that back then it was also not the right market condition. It was not the best. Maybe it was probably better than now.
It was better than right now.
It was better than
before.
now.
It was before the flash, yeah. But it was not perfect.
But market condition, I think if you have a product that everyone understands, and then the people that do understand it properly think, "Oh wow, this is the greatest opportunity ever. I'm going to put my money there," then it doesn't really matter the market conditions, right?
Yeah, I do agree. I agree a lot. Yeah, like I don't think with all due respect to the crafts team and everyone around it, I don't think that the market excuse is a good excuse.
It's part of it because people are not as loose with their money. You know, I guess
sure,
if
there's
we
not a
would
lot of
be
liquidity
in meme coin mania, where everyone just throws money at everything, hoping that that's the next 100x, sure.
Yeah.
Then you don't really need to have the craziest narrative or the best project. I'm not saying that they're not a good project. I cannot even judge because I have not fully understood it, and I didn't spend enough time to study what they're doing, right? So I don't want to be disrespectful here. But I also think their marketing was actually pretty good. At least my timeline was full over the last few days when it comes to this launch. So lots of people were talking about it, which means I would say that probably most of the people that are active on Twitter and on Solana have seen about it, heard about it. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that their marketing was not good or anything. Yeah. So it's really
needs to be possible it needs to be possible to get more than 190 people. Like even the sheer number of participants in this round, you know, that's what the front end says. Like not even 190, not even 200 people bought a ticket, you know, completely not considering the size. Even if the average check size, I don't know about that, is like $50, $100. But I think the number of people to connect the wallet and deposit money here, even with $100 check, should be much higher than 200. The question is how, you know, and this is not a critique on Crafts and the team. It is just forward looking. How do you get that number higher? Like what would you have to do better to get more than 200 people excited? Because I think we have more than 200 people, even in our little bubble here in crypto, that we can mobilize to invest in such a launch.
I honestly would like to. I mean, we are talking to the Crafts team soon anyway, so maybe I can ask them some questions about it. But I would really love to, if they give it to us, to get some insights, like how many people actually visited the page compared to how many put money there. I have some thoughts in my mind. So probably it's a mix of everything. You know, it's a mix of the market condition, maybe the mix of DeFi protocols being saturated. You know, it's nothing. It's not something crazy new anymore. Then what else? For sure, I
conversion?
think one part of the whole thing is I've never seen the MetaDAO launch pages, to be honest, right? But when I look at crafts and the campaign page where you have to commit your money,
Yeah.
I must say it looks completely overwhelming. There's just too much information. For me, it is not structured in a way where I understand, okay, that's the beginning, this is the end.
Yeah.
I go here and I don't have this one part where we need to look and to understand what I'm seeing here. You know what I mean? So,
Mm.
and then also this sealed bit, maybe I'm too stupid or whatever, but I also didn't try to understand it too much. But if it takes me too long to even want to understand it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I just bounce. So I guess the bounce rate
Mm.
of this page is probably super high. Just some theories here, but from my experience as a marketer for almost 10 years now, being very good at conversion optimized landing pages and campaigns, there's a lot of optimization potential when it comes to these campaign pages here. There's just too much information. I would put a video there, less than 5 minutes, where the founder of Refi Hub or Crafts explains, look, guys, this is Refi Hub. This is the opportunity. This is how our mechanism works, and really try to break it down so that maybe not a 5-year-old, because you always say, explain it to me like I'm 5. I guess 5-year-olds should not spend time on this page anyways. So
Nope.
if you can make the average person out there understand it,
Yeah, just the
without
person.
using crazy buzzwords or difficult technical language or whatever, then it would be much better, I think.
Yeah. What do you think about the MetaDAO front end compared to Refi? It's also quite heavy with the text, but I think but you need the text to an extent. At least,
Yeah,
okay, this
but
is just
put a
terms and
video
conditions.
there. Put a video there. Why not putting a video there?
Make it a conversion page instead of a Yo page.
Yeah,
Be
and
a bit more closer to.
I mean, really, I cannot tell. Maybe I'm talking bullshit, and they have, but I don't think so. Because if there is 185 people that participated, I don't know what their traffic was, but I have a similar web here right now, but I can only see the stats from April, and they weren't even
That's probably going to be more.
doing anything back then. Like visits. So I guess they had a couple thousand visits in this week. And if then there's only 180 something people participating, then the conversion rate cannot be that high. They should have tried some split tests or optimized the page during the time. Or that's at least a learning from really just my opinion. When I look at the page, if we would do something like this with Crafts together, I would not give green lights on this page. I would not do it this way.
Yeah, it's a good feedback for them. Avicii, by the way, also a success story. Yes, Mesh, you're right. From MetaDAO, they also did a decent job on the launch. Still think MetaDAO is a really good launchpad as well. I don't love the fact that you organize your whole company and you give away all of your rights of everything. It's like MetaDAO is the extreme case of decentralized launches via ownership coins, which is good, but not great, I think. But it's also good. I'd also consider it still, but the Crafts model makes a little bit more sense.
Just to put it in perspective again. So this is the campaign page from Solana ID for Solstice, right? This section here alone gives me all the information I need to make a quick decision, yes or no. What do I have to do?
Yeah.
In what time? What do I get? And basically, what do I have to? Yeah, what do I have to? What do I have to do? And it's repetitive. So if you don't read this, maybe you see this. You see, oh, yield boost and $500. Nice. This needs to, catch your attention. This just scares the hell out of everyone. If I go here, I've never heard about Refi Hub or Crafts before, but I see their posts like, interesting. What is this? I go here and I'm like, hell no. Hell no. Goodbye. You know what I mean? I don't want to be disrespectful.
At least some people,
But-
like there's always these types of people as well that are just like super technical. They don't care what they look at. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but it's not the average human.
That's
It's
just
not
one part. That's
Yeah.
just one part. It's just one part. You have, is it 5? I think you have 5 different categories you need to capture on a campaign page like this. First of all is just the easiest one, like the impulse people. They see it, they instantly understand it, or they understand it enough quickly that they can make a decision right here and there, which is I participate or I don't participate. Usually these people will also not reconsider, because that's a different buyer category. Because if they make a decision once, like, oh no, I don't want this, they will not come back and do it again. Then you have the people, they need all the details, especially also the technical details, but it's a small group of it. Then you need social proof. So they only participate if they also see that, oh, Simon is also giving money, Vibo is giving money, Toli is giving money. Wow, okay, I also want to give some money, right? So you have this. What else do you have? You have the scarcity effect. So the scarcity effect is kind of given, but it's not prominent enough here. I think there was a timer before. Somewhere here there was a timer. So you have you had this part. I need the urgency as well. So why do I need to do it right now and not wait until the timer runs out, or wait for the next opportunity? Why is this the best opportunity for me right now? And they didn't really capture all of these psychological triggers on this campaign page.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are not approaching websites that way at all, because they are not looking through a marketer's lens. But if you are building any product that you want people to interact with, whatever that means, right? Specific, you need to be a marketer. Like you're marketing the thing. So you need to understand what are the psychological triggers, what makes people click, what makes people interact with your stuff. You need to know these things. I just think a lot of teams are not really emphasizing that a lot. They care more about, are the details correct? Does it look pretty? It's very, very subjective. Like, is the front end nice? Do we have nice visuals? A lot of the landing pages that I've seen that perform quite well are actually quite ugly, even. Like, just, especially before. Like, now it's getting better because it's easier to make pretty things, but I think you probably saw a lot of landing pages that are quite simple and a lot of just, I don't know, they're not greatly designed. They're not artworks. They're just doing the job of selling something really well because they
absolutely
follow the things you said. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, everyone who's building products either has to have some knowledge about marketing or needs to have some good people in the team who have knowledge about marketing, because you will not make people use your product if you have no idea how marketing works. Yes, functional, having a functional product is part of it. Of course, you need to make sure that the technical side works. But how is it being used, and why do you need to position buttons there, and what color to choose, and how big do you make the font, and how many different colors do you use, and You know, all of these
Mm.
kinds of things, you need to consider this when you build anything, a product, a launch pad, or just a campaign page. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
no,
that
good
also
point.
leads us to today's
Yeah.
title, maybe, because we
Yeah.
haven't really touched it. You sent me this article a couple of days ago because we both spent a significant amount of time again on doing research, especially for the future of Solana ID. What do we have to change to make Solana ID more successful, also as a user product? Because let's be honest, out there, we did some mistakes the past 2 years when we started Solana ID. We had great moments. We had a great start with everything. We managed to get a good amount of users, but the thing that we didn't manage to really nail down is the retention rate. And your product lives and dies with your retention rate. What does it mean? If you don't know what retention rate is, basically that just means how many times do people or your users come back to use your product. And in an ideal scenario, you want them to come back at least every week, maybe every other day. Best case scenario, you have a product that they want to use every day, like Instagram, Facebook, social media apps. These apps, they manage to get people in on a daily basis. A lot of people use those products on a daily basis, which means they can make a lot of money because now they have their attention, they can advertise on you. So everything in crypto and everything everywhere is an advertisement.
Everything everywhere is an ad. That is a good tagline.
Yeah.
I think
if you talk to a woman, that's an advertisement.
Yeah.
Because you try to sell yourself so that the woman makes an action, right?
Yeah.
You ask a question,
Everything is
hey, do
an
you
ad.
want to go on a date with me? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You're trying to convince the other person that she is going on a date with you. If she says yes, and you asked her one time, you have a 100% conversion rate. Congratulations.
Yeah. It is actually very true, right? The life is all about, like, especially if you're living in the fucking mountains alone in a cabin, different, right? But if you're playing the society game, if you're playing the money game, if you're playing the relationship game, if you're playing any of the human coordination games that we came up with since existence of humanity, you are always negotiating, and negotiating is the beginning of any negotiation is an ad. It's like you putting out a proposal that you want someone else to buy, right? And that can be a belief. You're trying to convince someone else about your opinion that this football team is the best one. That can be a product that you're trying to sell someone because that's how you make your money. It can be anything, right?
Yeah.
So actually, not just in crypto, everything is an ad. Everything is an ad. Period.
Everything is an ad.
But
Exactly.
but I think in crypto, to kind of zoom in on that article as well, it was more about a lot of things that you see in a lot of apps are really not looking like an advertisement, but they are an advertisement, I guess. And what's the most important thing you need? It is users and retention of these users. And then you can turn everything into an ad, right? And it can be a ref link to something. Maybe you're building a DeFi protocol with a lot of Lego blocks, where you send users to Phoenix to trade and you allow deposits into Meteora and you allow, this and that. Those are all ads, ad brackets that you play somewhere. 90% of the Twitter posts you see, even if it says not sponsored by or anything like that, 90% of Twitter is pretty much an ad. Either it's a person advertising for themselves and whatever they're trying to convince others to believe, or it's founders posting about their products. Literally every tweet is an ad. Actually, if you think about it that way.
Yeah, basically yes. And the article was from, I think, the founder of Spindle, which is also some sort of on-chain ad analytic attribution marketing protocol, whatever. They're on Base, or they got acquired by Base, and they launched on the Base app. And when I actually first read the article, I was like, what does he mean? Like everything is is an advertisement. But if you really break it down, it makes sense, kind of, because he's just saying most of the Web3 people, especially the founders of any protocol, are being hypocritical because they say, oh, we don't like ads, we don't want any ads on our websites. I mean, am I still hear me? Are you ringing? You hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, I think it's me. I think it's me now.
I think
I think it's you.
Yeah,
Wait
I
a
think it is
moment.
actually
Sorry, guys.
me.
Are we back? guys.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I actually don't know if it was you or me because my also everything was.
I think it was
blank
me
here.
because my Wi-Fi also stopped right like just now, basically. I don't know.
But you were saying something interesting, so let's see if we're getting back on track slowly. Try it. Do you want to try again?
Yeah, but where did I stop? Yeah, founders are being hypocritical because they're saying we don't like ads, we don't want ads on our platforms. I mean, we ran against that many times when we tried to convince very big D-apps on Solana to include our SDN code on their front end to help users experience or discover our perks, right? So that they don't have to go to Solana ID. They can just use, for example, let's say Jupiter, swap, and then they also see, oh, nice, there's a perk waiting for me for my wallet, right? So we try to convince a lot of people, especially from bigger protocols, because those are the ones that we need. We need the ones that have a lot of traffic. But we pretty much always got the same argument as well. We don't want any ads. Why would we lead people away from our website? I mean, I get that argument, but then again, you can also see it the other way around and even do split tests. Yes, you would maybe send people away from your DApp initially, but in the Solana ID case, we had enough numbers to make sure or prove that claim rates are pretty high, click-through rates are very high, which means the perks that we display are very relevant for the audience and they like what they see and they click on it and they participate in it. Why would they not do it again? Why would they not come back to Jupiter to see if there's any other perk waiting for them? Yeah, or not only on Jupiter, any other DApp. It's just Jupiter has the most, I think they have the most traffic on Solana when it comes to a DApp. I don't want to drift too far away, but basically he's saying all of these people are hypocritical for saying that, because whatever you do on your DApp, every button that a user has to click to perform an action on your app is something you want them to do because you will make money from it. So what are you doing? You're trying to get their attention, telling them a story or promoting something so that they do an action and you earn money. That is basically the definition of an advertisement, right? You have a story, you have a promotion, and you want to get someone's attention with this so that they do an action that you want to get something out of it for yourself. So if I do my swaps on Jupiter, or if I do my, let's say I borrow money or I lend money on Jupiter instead of Camino, then Jupiter has done probably something along the way that made me give them my attention and do the action that they want from me so that they can earn money. It's an advertisement.
Yeah.
It's just part of their product.
Yeah,
but it's still an advertisement when it comes to the definition. So at the end of the day, I understand what the I don't know his name, but the guy from Spindle who wrote the article, what he was trying to say is basically, yeah, it is just very hypocritical from people like ads, because everyone depends on ads and that they perform well so that everyone makes money.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are not really seeing it through. They don't see it that way. They don't have the full. They have like little. That's how they look in their little tunnel on their product. Everything is about my product. If I'm not advertising my product, I'm doing something wrong. But actually, they don't consider that there's other truths out there. That because if you break it down, I think the way you did it is really elegant. To say that, why do you even advertise your product? Well, it's to make money on your product. So might as well advertise this product to make money on that. It's kind of doing the same thing at the end of the day. As long as you're not completely cannibalizing your own, front end and whatever, sure. But especially if it blends in with your product, and if it even adds benefits to users.
Yeah.
But, again, we've been there before, and we kind of know that we haven't fully found the pitch yet that really works with people to make them believe that. So at the end of the day, it does not matter at all that we know this for our endeavor of expanding the SDN. So we needed a new approach for expanding the SDN, and we came to other conclusions or other things to focus on first that are more low-hanging fruits.
Yes. So just to make it easier to understand also for everyone who's listening, this is an advertisement. This is an advertisement.
Yeah, right. Yep.
This is an advertisement, and this is also an advertisement.
Yeah, Jupiter is actually doing a very good job on advertising their own products.
There's a lot of advertisements. The only difference is why they say we don't like advertisements is because they are all part of their own ecosystem. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. It's still an advertisement because they use the traffic that they have and tell you, hey, if you want to connect to us, why not using our own wallet? Why not? You don't have to use Solflare, and it seems like they really have a big problem with Solflare for whatever reason, because they are not even in the first list of wallets. It's you have to click on view more wallets to see Solflare. That is ridiculous, but okay, it's another topic.
Yeah, also to be fair, they just want to win. They don't care about any other wallets out there than their own wallet, which is a legitimate thing to do if you're in your own wallet, which is Jupiter Mobile. Anyway.
But how often do you actually change your wallet? Like really make the effort to say, okay, I move now all my funds from one wallet to another. I open a new account. I write down
wallets are very sticky.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You only do that if you really open a new account that you might use. But if once you have your wallet or your account in one wallet, you leave it there and you only open new ones in other apps.
Yeah. It's a war between products out there. Welcome to the world, Cyber. This is capitalism is it's a competitive market. Yeah, everyone out there is trying to get their slice of the cake, which is legitimate. That's just the way the world works. We're all doing the same, actually. Anyway, Pierre, let's do the NFT. How about that? We're already over time. So let's do Solid Talk 91.
Sorry for my rumbling.
Talk NFT? No, I mean, that's part of that's why we're here, kind of. Right?
Yeah, and there's not so many opportunities where I can be a nerd and nerd out.
This is your time, brother. Solid Talk 91. We got a beautiful artwork here. Actually, I like that one. That looks really nice. The Solidity hero fighting off.
But I have to talk to the design agent because I don't know. I checked the prompt multiple times, and for some reason he keeps using some
same pose,
geometry. How do you call this? Some cubes and crystals, and always some sort of geometrische Objekte, geometric objects, whatever. So the backgrounds always not always look the same, but they go in the same direction. and
I
I'm
think what
not
you could
fully.
do, you could
Yeah.
give your designer a reference picture as well sometimes, so that he gets some fresh ideas, like a completely different artwork from an artist
Yeah.
that has a specific style, from a different theme, maybe an anime or something, whatever. Like a different reference, and then you basically give the instruction to create a Solid Talk NFT that is,
Yeah.
influenced by this new design.
That
So he
makes
gets some
sense.
fresh ideas, because I think right now he's kind of he's in his lane and he's repeating the same job
Yeah.
every week, he's feeling
Yeah.
confident. Need to give him
That
some
makes
new
sense.
ideas. Anyway, this is Solid Talk 91. It looks beautiful. It is NFT time, says Giannis. So get ready to claim, friends. All you have to do is talk.star.id. Pierre, let us know when you're ready.
Yeah,
I can give
I'm
the-
ready. But
okay.
just also to add something here, I guess, or I think now that we have done this like since 2 months or 3, I don't even know how long we have already created the NFT artworks ourselves. But this is definitely something where I appreciate human beings involved, as long as we do not have the AI at a point where it completely thinks on himself. Like, last week I did this, it gets boring, I need to find something new.
I mean,
Like, he always finds a way that works, but Sigmund, for example, he always on his own tried new styles, tried something different,
Of course,
there was always a surprise.
Yeah,
Now
that's gonna be
the
tough.
artworks are predictable, very predictable.
Yeah. Well, it's code, right? They're done by code essentially. So algorithms, which are inherently unpredictable. But what you could do is you could insert an unpredictability clause into the brain of your agent, and you could tell him basically specific instructions about being unpredictable. That's a good thing about working with agents. You can technically do everything you want with them. You just need to find a way for them to understand what you're meaning. Does that make sense? So there must be a way how to add uncertainty and, into the process of him figuring this out. And even if it's just a simple sentence like, do not repeat styles from prior weeks, come up with fresh design directions every single week, period, as a hard rule into the Cloud MD. That could be even the fix, or it's a bit more sophisticated.
To be fair, the image creation is still the only manual process of the whole NFT distribution part. So that it's not an automation. It's basically me once a week just submitting a prompt.
And
to
a new fresh instance. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's just how SGen works. I do it on SGen tool mode.
Okay.
Well, you don't really have.
I mean,
you don't really have context there.
Exactly. So what you'd have to do is have your Claude Code generate the image himself through AI or whatever, an API, so he can actually use Nano Banana or use GPT image or whatever you're using himself, and he writes the prompt himself in a cron job. He has an MD file that gives him a history of prompts and a rule set of future prompts. You know what I mean? So he can use his own brain, generates the images himself, AI API key inserted. He can do that anytime, generate whenever you want, whatever he wants. So
I guess you would have to basically build an automation where first he pulls the last 5 artworks from the past 5 weeks.
Yeah, he has them in a folder anyways because he generated them.
Analyzes them, then checks, okay, this is the base prompt, like this is the base guideline I have. This is my own creativity, my freedom of doing and thinking.
That I have
and my task is to create a completely new artwork with a different style that looks completely unique and different compared to the last 5 artworks. Then he needs to generate it, analyze the image as well again to see if he succeeded or not.
Yeah, that might be tricky. They're not so good at that,
and also understand, is the character consistent with the last 5 ones, or is there anything that looks different or looks odd? Because that is basically what I'm doing. If I'm not happy, I just generate another one. If I'm still not happy, I generate another one. So I generate like 5, 6 one every week, and then pick the one that I like the most. So that's the part where the AI agent would need to be very sophisticated, because otherwise we would risk having an NFT here that looks like garbage and I don't even know it.
Of course, yeah, no. I mean, you can also tell him to generate 5 images, and then you
Maybe
pick
I
the
could
best.
do something. He sends me 3 versions on Telegram, asks me,
Yep.
hey, these are the 3 top
Yep.
picks for this week. Which one do you like? And
Yep.
then I say, okay, I like the first one, but maybe change this. And then he does it and whatever. That would be.
Yep.
But then honestly, also it takes serious time to build this kind of automation. Is it worth it? No. Is it worth it?
I mean, I think you can build it in 2 hours, and then 2 hours one time invested.
But it takes me less than 5 minutes to generate this
image
every week. Yeah.
I mean, then you know how much time you need to amortize the 2 hours of
Okay, let's say
implementation.
the only way this would be worth doing is if it really solves the problem of the pictures don't look too similar all the time. Then it would be worth.
We can also follow the recommendation of Mesh, and he dropped a few of his favorite comic artists. So maybe we can come up with a way to do a Dana Takeda. I already made a screenshot and sent it to you here. So
did you?
Yes. So we can maybe use some of these ideas. Thanks, Mesh. Appreciate that.
And I promise for next week we will have an artwork following either Alex Ross, Mebius, Fiona Staples, whoever.
That's awesome, man.
I have actually
I don't know these people.
Any of them. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, not big comic guy here, but appreciate the recommendation, Mesh. Solami is the keyword, guys. Talk.solid. This is how you get the artwork that you see on screen right now. It is participation NFT. Solid Talk NFTs are here for you to claim because you're attending the live stream. So if you're here right now, then you actually deserve to get that NFT. Talk.solid. Insert your wallet ID. The secret code is Solami or caps, Solami. And from there, you will get the NFT within a very short time into the wallet that you insert. Very easy. You can also scan the QR code or go to Talk to get it. With that being said, I think we're already quite over time. Lots of nerding out, which is fun. We can close it down now. Do a Solstice campaign recap next week. Save that for next week as well. And yeah, I think we covered everything. Looked at the charts. Talked a little bit about the macro and the micro. Talked a little bit about Solami and on-chain. The future of what else, Pierre? What did we miss?
I just wanted to actually do a little shout out again because you just mentioned Solstice again. So wait.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So if we already talk about Solstice, then if you're listening right now and you have no idea what I was showing earlier, the campaign page of Solstice, then make sure you go to takeyouryieldback.com. Takeyouryieldback.com. Here, takeyouryieldback.com, because there we launched a new campaign some days ago where you can win you can win $500. 2 people can win $500, and all you have to do is basically use Solstice, their product, in the most simple and stupid simple way. You just go there, you lock either USDC, USDG, USX, their own stable coin, to get at least 100 EUSX. So that's important. You need to lock 100 EUSX at least. You can even use it in deep DeFi to boost your yield on Exponent or I think Camino and Radium or whatever. But you get the base yield instantly on EUSX. You also get a nice and juicy Flares points boost. So they launched their token SLX, and they're still running a points campaign. And if you participate in our campaign with Solstice, you get a boost on their airdrop. You get the yield, and you have also the chance to win $500. 2 people can win $500 based on your solid score. So if you have a very high solid score, you get lots of tickets. Those tickets will go into a, how do you call this, pot?
Yep. The big box.
Yes, the big box, whatever, in a ballot.
Yeah, a ballot
box, something
That's
like
it.
this.
Yeah.
Winner. They go in there. So if you have a good score, that means your chances are higher to actually win one of these $500. In the end of the day, it means if you like some juicy yield for yourself from a protocol that has no losing months since 3 years, and you want to get the chance to win $500, then participating in this campaign makes a lot of sense, because you only have to put in around $100 and leave it there for 30 days. And you get your money back after that. You can even leave it there if you want to generate more yield, but that's the minimum you have to do. Around $100 is your ticket. You get that back. So it's basically a free lottery ticket. You get money anyways. You always walk back as a winner, but you also have the chance to win something. Where in the world do you have this? If I go to the lottery shop and I want to participate in the lottery to win $5 million, I have to give them money. With us, you get money anyways, and you get the chance to win even more money. So I think that sounds amazing, more than fair. So don't miss out on that. Take your yieldback.com, allocate at least 100 EUSX, hold it for 30 days, and that's it. And actually, Simon, no, sorry, but I have to bring it back, and I don't care if we are running late or whatever, but I implemented a nice feature, so it's live now, which means if you actually participate in the campaign and you're not sure if you understood the assignment, like, wait, I went to Solstice, I did something, but is that really the right thing that I did? And am I qualified for the raffle? I got you. You can go back to the campaign page now in this section. You connect your wallet, you see your tickets, that was all there before. You see also the boost that you get, but now you can check your status and it will tell you if you are on track or not. So in this case, you can see I am not on track anymore, but I was on track for 2 days, but I sold my EUSX. I just wanted to see if the mechanism actually works. So before I was on track, then I sold it, and instantly I was not on track anymore. So if you go to Solstice, you get your 100 EUSX, you just check here on your status, and if it's green and says you are on track, that's it. You can lean back, wait for 30 days, and maybe you're one of the lucky winners. Super simple.
And with that being said, remember, in crypto, everything is an ad.
Everything is an ad.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Solar Talk number 91. That was well explained here. We're going to check the stats, talk a little bit about the business behind this campaign as well in the Solid Talk here with you guys, since we always try to give a glance behind the curtain as well. But let's do that a different time, not today. I'm going to be on with Heavy Metal Meteora actually in 20 minutes. He invited me to join his Solid Talk, their version of the live streams, and they even moved it to a day earlier than usually because I couldn't. So if you wanna,
okay, one last thing, Simon. One last thing. Sorry,
what do you want?
Everyone can go home.
But
there was actually something that I had in my mind, and I wanted to get your opinion on it. But I was thinking, no matter what's going to happen with Solana ID, in case when I say that, it sounds dramatic, but I don't mean it dramatic. I think we should think about, and we can also get your opinion out there. But maybe we should reduce the amount of solid talks. Either only do it once a month or bi-weekly. But I think doing 92 solid talks over the last 2 years has taught me that it is quite hard to always have something super exciting to talk about when it comes to, this is going on with Solana, this is what we've done, and also prepare a nice show. I mean, you guys are killing it with the Solana ecosystem call, and guess what?
Yeah,
you
very
cannot
good.
run a show on that quality every week. It's just not possible because you have so many.
You can. You just need a team of 10 people.
Yeah, but
And
honestly, also, I mean, sure, in 1 week there would probably, in the whole Solana ecosystem, there would probably happen enough to talk about in 1 week. But when it comes to Solid Talk, I mean, in the end of the day, what do we want with Solid Talk? It's our way of talking about everything very transparently. What's going on with Solana ID? What are we building on? Maybe what are the struggles? What are the successes? And what is the plan for the future? Obviously, if you do that every week, there's sometimes, as like right now, where you don't always have super exciting news. And we also don't have the time to prepare the most amazing show on the internet every week. It's just honestly. So I guess it would be actually worth considering to reduce the amount of solid talks, but increase the quality significantly, more preparation, nice slides, proper topics. We can invite guests again and really make it a bigger show, like how's this Apple show called, WDC or whatever, and not something like this because they only do it once a year. But if we do it bi-weekly or once a month, I think it would be more significant, and it also saves you guys out there a lot of time because you don't have to show up every Saturday, even though we appreciate it.
I think some people want that.
I also love hanging out here and Rumble and whatever, but we can still do that. We can still, if we are feeling it, we can just go live on Saturday or on any day and talk about
just without a
debate. But when it comes to a solid talk where we only talk, because we also talk honestly in the last few solid talks, we talk a lot about stuff that is not really related to Solana at all.
Yeah, that's what these calls turned into a lot over the past months.
So we can still do Simon and Pierre talking about what they're being interested in, what's on their mind. But I think when it comes to solid talks, I would like to reduce the amount and really focus much more on Solana ID again. Make it in a more
proper show.
Yeah, higher quality, better preparations, slides, invite guests, whatever.
I don't disagree. Let's listen a little bit to what people in the community think. If you guys have opinions, drop it on Telegram or below comments on next posts as well if you want. And we'll discuss it one more round to see what are the the pros and cons here. And then we can let you guys know if there's any changes to the cadence here. Yes, raising some valid points, but I don't disagree with it. Awesome. What else?
With that being said, that's it. I don't have anything.
Okay. Awesome. Alrighty. Then, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Solid Talk number 91. Thanks for being part of this wonderful journey. Remember, in crypto, everything is an ad, and that's totally fine. And people gotta understand this, but we're gonna help people to understand it and make everything an ad. It's all good. They're not that bad, guys. If they're done well. Until next week, I hope you guys have a good rest of the weekend. Good start of the next big week. And we'll see you for now next week again at the same space, at the same time. Until then, stay solid, get solid. Peace out, everyone.
Peace.